Here we are, approaching 7:20 in the morning at the trailhead in Alpine for our attempt on South Thunder Mountain. There's a very familiar garage near where we park. Panning around to the south, the early light of a new day. We're at about 5,157 feet here according to my GPS. The tops of the peaks close to us here are in the clouds. There's supposed to be a little front pass through at about 8 o'clock this morning.
It's pretty out there.
5 minutes after 8. Beautiful. Sun is beginning to grace the mountaintops in the distance to the southwest. I'm panning across the Utah County, Utah Lake, Alpine below us. Can't quite see Mount Nebo, it's obscured by the clouds. Here we are at the first so-called Hamongog. I am told it's a biblical term meaning meadow. We arrived here at 8:26. My GPS shows an elevation of about 6950. Lone Peak Wilderness, Uinta National Forest. Now just pan up here and look at the meadow. We make a left-hand turn here and angle up through the shoulders that are on the left-hand side of this picture toward the second Hamongog. We are now at the second Hamongog. It's 9:24. It has been snowing moderately for about the last 30 minutes, but 2 or 3 minutes ago it pretty well stopped. That's Dave out there mushing across the open area. I'll take a GPS reading here in just a minute. I'm looking up there at what is Upper Bell's Peak, and we have just come through a real nice forested area here back behind us. As you can see, we've been following a boot pack all the way up, and thus far the boot pack has been very, very nice. It's 11:15 on the 29th of January. Brent and I are above the second Hamongog, and I'm shooting Brent as he's coming up the slope. And then I'll pan over here towards the second Hamongog. Come very slowly to the south. Looking just a little bit into the sun. And then coming up here, getting a view of the drainage that we're coming up. That's Upper Bell's Peak. We go up towards the clump of trees and go right, intercept the ridge at about 9,400 feet. It is a beautiful morning. No clouds in the sky, nary a breeze. Here we are, approaching the first significant ridge above the second Hamongog. We've been going for 1 hour since the second Hamongog, and that's Dave attending the ridge. I'll take a GPS reading and maybe make a note of that later for this video. I am 12 minutes to the east of the saddle ridge, looking at the base of the rib that we go up. Large clump of trees. Coming this way just a little bit, quite a few dead ones, and then a steep drop off toward the other side. I believe that's toward Lake Hardy. I'll pan up just a little ways along the ridge. We basically make our way up this ridge for quite some ways before we go east again. It's 12:53. I'm taking a very short break to just get this video of the ridge between South Thunder Mountain and Chipman Peak. I'll pan over here along that ridge and bring Chipman Peak into view. Come back here. The terrain is really flattened out. Didn't take too long, about a half an hour. Come from the base of the rib to this particular point. Now I'm going to pan up, and that is South Thunder Mountain. I'm standing at the dead tree, marking a rest point below the South Thunder saddle. This is the tree itself. We're at about 10,600. I made a waypoint saying that it was the rest point below the saddle. I'm panning around to the north. There's the summit of South Thunder. Panning further northeast, there's the saddle. I'm just a few feet below the saddle. It's 122. Panning from south across the saddle to the boulders at the base of the summit ridge of South Thunder, and then there's this top of South Thunder Mountain right up there. About 300 feet to go. I'll continue panning out here so that I can get Lone Peak in the shot, Upper Bells Peak, and I'm heading up. Here I am on the top of South Thunder Mountain. It's about 1:40 in the afternoon, January 29th. How do I know it's South Thunder Mountain? Because there's a sign here that says so. I'm going to turn it off now, give a panoramic view, and start down. A little bit cold today. Yes. Over and out. Pick up the skyline over there. It's a beautiful day, a little windy. Twin Peaks, etc., etc. The bridge. Bells Canyon. Smoggy Salt Lake Valley. Rocky Mouth Canyon Peak right there. Overlooking that beautiful Lone Peak. Coming on around, and there's Upper Bells Peak. Got to start down, getting cold. I've just come down off the top of the rib, and I stopped to take this video. Chipman Peak, swinging around to the southeast. Box Elder Peak. In the distance, Mount Timpanogos in all its beauty. Coming further around, Smoggy, Utah County, Orem and Provo in muck. Mount Nebo way off there in the distance. As I swing over here, you might be able to see a portion of Utah Lake. And then I'll just come right up here and look at that gnarly ridge that belongs to Upper Bells Peak. Truly a gorgeous, gorgeous day.